So I think it's always a pleasure to watch the best players in the world, men's or women's game, and really appreciate what effortless power they generate in their golf swings. And yet for a lot of you watching, you'll say, I just can't do that. I'm not as athletic as them. Maybe not, but at the end of today's video, you're going to understand how to unlock your own effortless, powerful golf swing. So when I see most golfers hit shots, even the golfers who are striking the ball well, making it go in the kind of direction they want, nearly everybody says that they'd like to hit the ball a little bit further. And very often what I would see with many golfers, they'll make a good solid swing. That one just drawing to the left of target, solid strike. And we can see the club head speed there, 83.6 mile an hour, 108.7 mile an hour ball speed, smash factor at 1.3, carry at just under 148 and total at 155. And I know a lot of you might watch that and say, yeah, but I'd love just to swing at 83 mile an hour. Well, what I'm going to talk about in today's video, maybe I already do a little bit better than most golfers, but even for me, this is something I need to work on. So we mentioned how the top players in the world obviously generate some fantastic club head speed, maintain that strike, de-loft the club, which gets that ball speed up and gets that smash factor really high. So smash factor is just simply how efficiently you transfer energy from club to ball, and it's basically ball speed divided by club speed. So how do most club golfers try and generate their speed? So what they'll do is they'll set up to the golf ball and they'll just literally think, right, just move the club faster. And it's very initiated with their hands and arms, and you can still hit some good shots. So we see there, I've really tried to get my hands and arms accelerating, got my club head speed up to 88 mile an hour, ball speed to 114, smash was worse, and carry up to 152. But it really feels like I'm putting a lot into that golf swing and felt like I had very little control. But when we watch the best players in the world, they don't seem like they're really putting a lot of effort into the golf swing, but what we'll see with them is more like this. So we suddenly see nearly 90 mile an hour club speed, 122 ball speed, 1.36 smash factor, 165 carry and almost 169 total. Now, comment below before I talk about this if you know what I did differently there. Right, so hopefully lots of comments for me to get back to. But basically the way the top players in the world generate their speed differently to a lot of club golfers is that they use the ground much, much better. And I think a lot of this is spoken about nowadays, but we maybe don't understand how we're going to use the ground fully. So I'm going to give you a couple of ways you can feel that you're going to generate more energy from the ground through your body, transferring through your legs, through your torso, into the arms, finally into that club. So what you'll tend to see from face on with the best players in the world is if you imagine a line round about where my belt buckle would be, what you see with the best players in the world is as they swing back, they actually get a little bit lower to the ground. So they're already pushing into the ground here. Whereas when I watch a lot of club players, and me, when I'm not swinging at my best, tend to maintain all my height. And I can feel the difference. When I'm here, my legs just don't feel engaged at all. Whereas if I feel like I almost just squash into the ground, I can really already feel that power there. So I'm going to hit a shot first of all where I don't feel a squat on my backswing. Then I'm going to hit one where I do. And let's just see the difference in the speed. So I'm going to really concentrate on keeping my height on this one. And it's a good shot. I would absolutely take that. 87 mile an hour. 118 ball speed, 165 carry, 171. Now I know for me there, it kind of feels like I really pick the ball off the turf. So the next one, I'm going to feel it as I swing back, get that belt buckle down, but still pointing down to the ground. And that straight away feels like I'm really powerful and ready to explode into the downswing. Might not look like that, but let's try a swing there and see the difference that makes. Felt really good. 89.9 club speed. Ball speed at over 123 and 170 carry and 175. So what I think a lot of people worry about with that is to say, yeah, but surely if I get closer to the ground on the way back, I'm not just going to hit behind the golf ball. Not if you're in a good impact position, because what you'll see with most club players at impact is that the club shaft maybe leans back or straight at best. That trail arm is very straight, so they've released the club early. Whereas all the best players in the world, from getting smaller, as their body turns out the way, shaft leans forward, trail arm's much more bent. So that's why they don't fully get back to that height. And if you watch any of the best players face on, you will see that movement. So again, let's have one more where I feel I push into the ground on the way back. And let's see if we can get even more speed out of that. I do love how that feels. And maybe I just haven't practiced that enough lately. So 90.5 club head speed, 121.9 ball speed, 166 carry, 171 total. So if you're already starting to store energy in the backswing, you're already picking up speed. Now, the second part I want you to feel, maybe not as important with irons, but still becomes an integral part of building speed, is that once you've stored that energy, as you're swinging down, you want to feel that you're pushing that lead foot down into the floor. That'll make that hip move out the way quicker and almost create a little bit of a slingshot feeling. Now, even when I talk to golfers face to face about this, they struggle with kind of understanding how that feels. And I think a great way is if I'm facing the camera here, if I was going to jump and face the other way, if I don't push down into the ground there, I can't really generate any energy. So as I squat down and then push off that lead foot, I can feel how the movement would be. And I would practice that myself. So go back, down and jump and try and almost get that kind of sensation into the practice swing. And you might even see the lead foot move like mine did there. Now again, I'm not saying you're going to do it that exaggerated when you play, but certainly in practice, exaggerate the feeling, really get used to that, and have 2 or 3 goes. And for me, that feels really quick. So I'm going to hit a couple of shots, but not worry too much about strike. Just see, can I be that exaggerated on the shot? So I'm going to push on the way back and then really try and feel like I'm going to jump out the way in the downswing. So swing didn't feel quite as quick, even though it was actually 92 mile an hour. Strike wasn't perfect. So I've lost a little bit of distance on the shot. But we can see from the first swing of the day that was all arms, 83 mile an hour, now up to 92. So yes, wasn't the best strike, but let's again have a shot where it feels nice and exaggerated. And again, probably not the best strike, but all of a sudden up to 92.7. Ball speed at 124.8, and even without hitting that perfectly, 180 carry. So we can see really getting out there. Now, yes, I would agree that it feels a bit of out of control, even for me. So what I would always say is, right, if I did a practice swing like that, and then hit the shot, maybe feeling a bit more controlled, what can I actually get out of that? So that feels super quick. So now a bit more controlled on the actual shot. Strike was good. Didn't quite get the club face back, but that felt very controlled, and I'm still swinging at 91 mile an hour club speed. still getting the ball out there, 166 carry, 171 total. So if you can work on, in your backswing, feeling it on the way down, you kind of squash yourself into the ground and then feel like you're going to jump and turn out the way on the downswing, you're going to start putting more energy into the ground, which then the ground's not going anywhere. That energy is going to come back up through your body, get you swinging the club quicker, and really unlocking that effortless power, just like you see all the best players in the world doing.